Hello friends and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaelyn. I am a fourth year PhD candidate in History and African American Studies at Yale. I am based in London and I make lifestyle content all about my life as a graduate student, as well as videos about my life here in London and talk about books and productivity and all the things that I find really interesting. So today I wanted to start a new series for 2024, which is my new reset series. So I love watching these reset videos when other creators make them, and I had the plan to do them last year and just never really got into it, but I wanted to start doing them this year because I think it's going to be a really nice way to recap and share a bit of my experience throughout the year, so that way I have a space to creatively reflect, but also so that way I can share some of the lessons learned and hopefully encourage you to do the same. We have these monthly planning sessions for the Accepted Society members, and normally I usually wait to do my reflections during that session, but over the last couple of days I really wanted to be mindful about preparing for the month ahead because it felt like January was a bit of a whirlwind, and so I want to go ahead and share this February reset with you. And we're going to be covering everything from reflecting on January, lessons learned, core memories, all of that, and then we're going to talk a little bit about my goals for the upcoming month, as well as talking about budgeting and some things like that. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump straight into it. In a recent video about my 3-step planning system, I shared my planner. So this is my Golden Coil planner, and I actually add additional note pages between each week. So I do everything in tandem with Notion. So I went ahead and actually wrote out my weekly reflections and everything into my notebook, but I'm also going to be adding it to Notion and using that as my daily dashboard. So that way I'm reminded of all the goals that I have set for the year, the month, and the week. And this is just my process every single Sunday. So we're gonna start with the reflections from the month of January. The new year comes with so much promise, and when we're preparing for the year ahead, we have just such lofty goals for the things that we want to accomplish, the goals, the habits that we want to instill. And heading into January, I honestly did not set myself up for success. I started the month feeling really rushed. Not entirely sure what it was about this particular year, but it felt like that break between Christmas and New Year's just went really quickly. And by the time we actually got to 2024, I was already exhausted. And I think part of this is that I was used to having the new year or a full-on reset beginning with the semester, and the semester at Yale begins in mid-January. Whereas now that I'm working on the dissertation and I have a little bit more flexibility, I felt like there was a lot of pressure to start off the new year on January 2nd. And I ended up having a friend coming and visiting. Chloe came out for a week to visit me, and we started off her visit by going to Paris with our friend Danny. Just to be perfectly honest, I felt so socially burnt out by the end of our time in Paris that we got back to London, and I was planning on trying to balance spending time with Chloe with also getting a bunch of work done, and it was just not good planning on my part. I really should have just taken the week, or perhaps recommending that she come visit at a different time, because right at the beginning of the year, there was just so much I wanted to get done, but I just didn't have the energy, and I actually ended off the week and her visit. I had just felt absolutely fried, and I ended up taking a social media break. I ended up just disconnecting and not responding to any friends and just taking the weekend to just recover. And I basically needed the entire next week to really feel like I could recharge my social batteries. I consider myself somebody in between an extrovert and an introvert. However, I am coming to realize that I perhaps am a little bit more introverted than I thought, and it was just too much social activity for me. So I ended up taking the following week to really just think about what type of boundaries I needed to set. And I have noticed that I have created a pattern of saying yes to things and saying yes to people and putting aside my work or putting aside myself and the things that matter to me. And some of the first things to go when I am asked to hang out with someone is that I put aside, for example, my health. So I wasn't going to the gym and wasn't doing the things that really make me feel good, and also found that I just wasn't hitting my deadlines, and I would go to do my work and I would just be so exhausted from spending time with people. Some of the lessons learned from January is that I do actually need to dedicate more time to being alone and to spending time on my own and take more time and focus on my work, because as much as I love being around people, the thing that really excites me right now is all the creative projects that I'm working on, and I find it really frustrating when I let other things get in the way of the things that matter to me. And not to say that, you know, my relationships and things don't matter to me. It's just that I really do love my work, and I get really frustrated when I let something get in the way of doing my best work. And so in February, I'm really going to be prioritizing my work, time spent alone, and trying to foster relationships and friendships that I find really energizing. And now I want to share some of my core memories from the month of January. One of my core memories was getting macaron with Chloe and Danny in Paris. For some reason, we just stumbled across this one macaron shop and it was so good. And that's just one of my core memories. Two is walking through Hyde Park with my friend Maria. We ended up meeting at a new bakery in Notting Hill. It's called Chai Guy's Bakehouse. I highly recommend it. They have a masala Suisse and they also have really good chai. And after that, we ended up going to a bookshop and then for a walk through Hyde Park. And that was just a really nice day. And I just felt like it was exactly what I needed after feeling quite fried, but being able to hang out with her was really fun. Another core memory is that I actually submitted one of my fellowship applications, and it's for a fellowship that I'm really hoping that I secure, because that would mean that I would access a visa as well as funding for the next year. However, I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best. Another core memory was going for date night with my partner. We went to a really nice restaurant near our flat and we just had a really nice time. So much so that when we were leaving the restaurant, I was laughing and actually gave myself an asthma attack. So one for the memory books. Another core memory was getting to go study with Kate at the British Library and got to see the fantasy exhibit with my friend Christy. And some lessons learned that I wrote down are to protect my alone time, to prioritize yoga and Pilates just because it feels good. I was doing a lot of weight training at the end of last year and just wasn't really enjoying going to the gym, and came to the realization that working out and moving my body is simply so that way I enjoy my body and I feel better. And what makes me feel good right now is yoga and Pilates. So I'm just gonna do that. And I also want to reduce snacking. I have noticed that recently I have been not eating in the morning and then just eating a ton of food later in the day, and not terribly good food, not terribly nutritious. And so I did say that lessons learned. I need to prioritize having 3 proper meals a day. And now for a quick little budget check. So I went a little spend crazy in January. I'm not gonna go into a full budget. If you want a full budget in future videos, please let me know if that's something you're interested in. But essentially in January, I wanted to make sure that I started off the year strong by putting a bunch of money into savings. And because I had done that, I think I psychologically had checked off a box and said, you know what, put money in savings. I had paid for my student loans and I just went a little crazy, especially with buying books. And so February, we are going to be focusing on reducing spending. And I feel like this is a goal for everybody every single month, but what I'm going to do in February in particular is I'm not allowed to buy anything unless it is a necessity. So I have been buying a lot of things that I convince myself are necessities, but honestly, if I can manage to get through a week without needing it, then it's not something that I need. Buying an extra book that I'm not going to be able to read that month is not something that I should be prioritizing at the moment. Another thing with spending is that I want to keep better track of my spending. And I used to do a full audit of my spending every single Sunday. And while that was immensely time consuming, and I don't necessarily think that it's totally worth me spending my time digging in and doing like a forensic analysis of every single purchase, I am going to focus on actually using Xero in order to track my finances, because I do have a Xero account that is connected to my accountant, so that way they can help me with my taxes and bookkeeping. However, I don't check it myself normally, so that is something that I want to change and want to focus on next month. Now it is time to move on to my goals and intentions for February. So I'm going to share with you how it is that I break it down by month, and then I'm also going to show you how it is that I'm starting to break it down by week. First and foremost, we have the personal category, and for this, I would like to get in 10 gym visits. I would like to read 4 books, and I would also like to book my trip either to Hong Kong or to Copenhagen. I'm planning on going to Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and Taipei with my grandmother in May. And so I need to check in with her about when I should buy those flights because they're just gonna get more expensive, so I should buy them soon. In terms of financial goals, I would like to put a certain amount into savings. I know that I have some brand deals that should have concluded by that point, so I wanna make sure that I put that money in saving. I need to make a sizable contribution to my student loan debt. In terms of relationship goals, I would like to go on run really nice date night with my partner. We have plans to go out not on Valentine's Day, but to go out on Valentine's week so we can have a nice night together. Secondly, I'd really like to hang out with my friend Elizabeth. She left London at the beginning of January and I'm missing her and I would love to get to spend more time with her. So to try to schedule some time over Zoom. I would really like to have more casual hangouts with my friend Maria and my friend Becca. Oftentimes I end up hanging out with friends and we just do co-working, which is really fun, but I do really want to prioritize just getting to spend time with friends, but I want to prioritize spending time with friends not working. And for example, my friend Maria had recommended that we go see a movie, so I'm going to suggest that we see a movie in February together. Academic goals. I need to apply to 3 fellowships at minimum, and I also need to get my statute database to a place where I can begin writing. The goal is to begin writing my chapter for my chapter conference starting in mid-February. If you saw my plan my dissertation with me video, then you know what I mean. So I need to get a lot of that done. In terms of professional goals, I would really like to make website templates. I love web design. I designed the website for Accepted. I designed my own website. I also do web design projects freelance for friends or for clients, and I don't do them terribly often, but I'd really like to produce some templates that I can sell and hopefully also create specifically one for academics because I really don't like people's academic websites. I just think they're really boring and they could be so much better. So I'm gonna try to create a template for it. And so I don't have to complete it, but I need to start it. Second goal is to actually complete all of the DBA curriculum. I have a bunch of videos planned for the DBA students in addition to the course curriculum that I had already created. And so I want to get those done in February. The third is actually to launch a program. I'm not going to share this with you yet, but keep an eye on Instagram because I'll announce it there first. And then the third is that I would like to bring in more coaching clients. So I do digital marketing consulting and digital brand coaching. And so I would really love to work with more clients that are interested in growing on social media and building a profitable brand. Obviously, I built several businesses off of my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel itself is a stream of income and I want to help others do the same. So I need to focus on selling that service. In terms of content goals, I would really like to post 10 YouTube videos. It's a really lofty goal because that's about 2 videos a week, but I have some big plans for my channel and I really need to get on posting more regularly. I would also like to post 20 reels. So that is a reel for every weekday and also 20 TikToks. In terms of Accepted, I would like to begin work on a merchandise line. We had started this project, I don't know, about 6 months ago, but it got put on pause. So I'd really like to focus on that. And then we also need to secure a symposium date. I would really love to do this year's Accepted Symposium hybrid. And so I need to start getting in contact with people that would help make that happen. I also want to get back on Accepted social media game. So 10 new posts is another goal of mine. And lastly, the category that I have the most fun with is my bucket list. There's a new bakery that I really want to try over in Liverpool Street, so that is on my bucket list. It's called Nagare. The second is that I would like to have a study date at the British Library. I thought about inviting a friend or just going myself, but I would like to spend more time at the British Library. And the third is to go horseback riding. So I used to ride horses professionally. I'm missing it a lot, but I got a riding opportunity that I hope I can share more about later. And lastly, we're gonna go ahead and break that down by this particular week. And so for example, my goal for the month is to go to the gym for 10 different yoga classes. or gym classes. And I'm going to say that I would like to go to the gym 4 days this week. I would like to put some money towards my savings this particular week. And I would like to go ahead and schedule time with some friends. In terms of academic goals, I'm gonna try to get those 3 fellowship applications done this week because they have due dates by February 15th, so I'd like to get them done early. In terms of professional, I need to film 5 of the Digital Brand Accelerator videos. That's a lot, but I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get about 1 a day. In terms of content, I am going to say that I need to edit 3 YouTube videos. So I have this video, I filmed a book haul, and I'm filming a video tomorrow. I also have a video that I'm gonna be filming starting on Tuesday to Friday. So I would like to get 3 of those edited. I need to post 5 reels and TikToks, and in terms of accepted, I need to begin sending out emails to schedule the symposium. And one of my bucket list items, which has absolutely 0 relation to my actual bucket list items for the month, is that I want to take Moo on a run around a park. And so that is all for my little reset recap. If you enjoyed this type of video, just sitting down, talking about goals, talking about how it is that I organize my time and productivity, then go ahead and leave me a comment below, and be sure to remember to thumbs up this video as well as hit the subscribe button if you have yet to subscribe to my channel. I hope that you enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next video.